Welcome to the Business Broadcast Interviews. Within this episode, we are going to talk about how you can become the best version of yourself. I'm Tady, co-founder of the Online Seller Circle. And if you're new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button below so you can get notified next time we release a video. Now, I can't wait to get stuck into today's episode, how to become the best version of yourself, the business broadcast interview with Harry Thomas. Now, a little bit of a background of Harry. Harry is a millionaire health and fitness business owner who's trained clients, including Grammy-nominated singers, songwriters, celebrities, big corporate business owners, and Harry's gone on to build his business empire, back then based in London, dedicating his time to helping others. Harry is now a life coach working with many clients around the globe, and he's calling in today from Brazil. And I'm super excited to share his story with you and also to share some tips on how you can become the best version of yourself. Harry, huge welcome to you and thanks very much for being there. How are you doing today?
Yeah, really well, thank you. Thank you for having me on here.
I was just saying you look extremely tanned, but then you would do it being in Brazil at the moment.
Yeah, it's just turning their summer now as well, so I'm just lapping it all up every day.
So, Harry, you've got an interesting story, haven't you, to share with us? And I'd like to delve deeper into your journey because, you know, like for many, it's your journey has got you to where you are today in your business. And for those that actually don't know, Harry and myself, we used to work together many years ago in the corporate world, and we obviously now run our own businesses remotely. So Harry, you're obviously a life coach now. What did you do before and what kind of stories? How can you share your journey today? So where you were to where you are now?
Yeah, so I guess the first thing I just want to start with, the titles that we call ourselves, life coach, personal trainer, these are just titles, but it means so much more, which I'll come on to. So I was a personal trainer for 16 years. I started in a local gym and always loved sports, always liked helping people, and eventually got persuaded to go into London and go big time. I didn't know what that meant at the time, but I got to work with millionaires, top corporate people, lawyers, bankers, but a world that I wasn't used to. And it really taught me a lot about life. And just to give you an example how little I knew about things, I didn't even know what the word cuisine meant. So my clients were going out to a lovely cuisine and I didn't have a clue what they were talking about. So I went from a kid to turning into an adult quite quickly, but at the same time, helping people become healthier, reach their goals, but downloading all of their insights and kind of all their experiences whilst doing it. And that was kind of the start of my career. I guess it was the start of my career because it opened me up to a whole new world and a lot more understanding of what really goes on in London.
Because you were in your, was it early to mid 20s at that time, if I remember rightly?
Yeah, 19, I moved into London at Fitness First. And so we were self-employed. So it was a completely new concept as well. I was only used to, or for the record, I only had 3 jobs my whole life, which is all being in the gym or a sports centre. But I started with a salary. And then when we went into London, I was self-employed. So we were paying rent to the gym. And from that, we would then get to charge and run it as our own company within the whole gym setup.
So you started at the age of a teenager, just 19, you went self-employed. You built over those years this £1 million business with your co-business owner at the time. And was it one gym? What was the setup?
Yeah, so started off in that Fitness First, self-employed, and then within about a year, I met my business partner, who still is now. I met him at the time. We were both the new guys, and we just had the idea of let's get our own gym, and didn't realise what that entailed, and didn't realise that would become my life. But we opened that studio in Tower Bridge in 2009, and yeah, fast forward, we went on to open 2 successful studios. We had a third, which we had to close down. A lot of lessons learned at that part. And then throughout the process, we then got more involved with the educational space. So we were delivering personal trainer qualifications and bringing new personal trainers into the industry. So like throughout this whole journey, I got to experience literally every single job role possible. Although I've just had a job in fitness, I did the marketing, I did the cleaning, I got to manage loads of different members of the staff and different job roles. And I think that's the beauty of running your own company, is you get to learn as you go along. And it's very easy to have someone tell you what to do, but if they haven't had that experience themselves, it's not the same with actually learning from doing it yourself, and experiential knowledge.
Yeah, I remember watching your journey back then, right from 2009, when we kind of parted in the roles and the company that we were both working in, and just watching your kind of career go from strength to strength. So obviously you had very little experience, let's say, from a business perspective, but you were an expert in what you knew in terms of health and fitness, and you're an extremely personal person. People love you. I know that. I can see that from people that you've worked with. What would you say in terms of kind of your business journey to date has what do you think that's given you in terms of to get where you are now?
In what sense? What's it given me, Tex?
In terms of kind of your development from moving or transitioning from the health and fitness industry, running a big empire in London, to kind of where you are now, moving across the world into to Brazil, and obviously starting a remote business, which is life coaching.
Yeah, so I guess the whole journey I've got to experience, literally. If you ask me, have you done that before? I reckon I can say, yeah, I've done that. Or if I haven't, my staff's done that. I've got to experience so much of not just business, but life. And the beauty of my job, I'm working with people with all different types of job roles, jobs that I didn't even know existed. And I'm now learning from them and the way they do things and their processes and the people they work with. So I've had the luxury really of just being involved with literally everything. And I think that's really kind of helped me with my term life coaching now, is being aware of everything that happens within our life. And I think the fact that I was still able to have an influence, it's not about me looking up to people and stuff. When we were together, I was playing my role as a trainer and they were just coming to get what they had signed up for. And that really helped as well, because a lot of my clients, they're in corporations and they never get to be at the top. They never have an influence. They're never heard. Whereas when we're together, we get to share and actually understand about the person, and also see the improvements that at the time I thought was just fitness, but how it affected their life. And I think that was a key part as well, is everything is connected in some way or another. And my job now is to make people aware of everything that happens in your life. Even if you don't want to know about it, it's still in your life. So the more you become aware of all of these things, the things that you do want to happen will be a lot easier to push forward and prosper from.
Yeah, completely agree. And I think also in terms of kind of building relationships and the people that you worked with throughout that, that part of your life, that journey, the amount of opportunities and also the knowledge that no doubt you were able to build and to gain from those clients as well. It's kind of give and take, isn't it? And I think that's very similar, like what you're saying with life coaching. So give me a definition of a life coach. What does a life coach do?
Okay, yeah, so life coach, it's met with so much resistance. And again, same with personal trainers, people just associate what they think it is. Life coaching for me is a lot more than what people understand until they experience it. But people associate it with having a problem, therapy, and things that need to be improved. Whereas for me, life coaching is literally trying to excel every part of your life. So my job is not to go back in your past and go, your mum didn't give you loads of cuddles and that's why you're like this now, and that's because of that. But your past is gone, it's irrelevant. And one of my key teachings is your past doesn't define you. What I do then is like, let me hear your past and let's see what's holding you back and stuff, and say, great, this is where we are right now. We can accept that. my job then is to really get people to think outside the box and try to understand, what do they want out of life? Where do they want to go, and why do they want to do that? And now we're at this starting point. A life coach then helps them, first of all, set these goals further ahead, and then reverse engineer it to show them how simple it is if we just keep taking these steps, because we know where we're going. A lot of people, that myself included before, I was just working for the sake of it. Or I started my business just to generate money, but there was nothing set in stone ahead. And I think that's a key component now, is allowing people to think far ahead, but then actually see it's really achievable. If I just break it down and I do this, this, and this, and I show up as my best self, they're going to reach those goals a lot easier. And then when you start doing more learning and looking at the best, they've all got a game plan, they've all set goals, they've all got a strategy that they're working on. So it's almost like it works, and the people that are at the top are showing it works by doing it.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's that famous quote, I think it's by Tony Robbins, who says that life happens for us, not to us. So really, kind of, life coaches are there to, I suppose, aid clients, the listeners listening to this video right now, to improve different areas of their life, whether it be relationship, their day job, whether they've got business. So clients can come to you with all different scenarios or situations, and it's then your responsibility to help them break down the barriers and I suppose provide laser focus and key strategies and stepping stones for them to be able to then reach their goals.
Yeah, so I guess everyone's got so much in their life going on. It's quite noisy, it's quite chaotic. And one of my main things is to try to simplify things and let people bring it back to basics. And sometimes we've got so much going on, so many projects we're working on, we don't really get much done. So with everything that's going on, we try to find out what is priority, what's going to make the biggest influence on my life at the moment, and then get them to realize, if I just put all my attention just into this one, that then has an effect on my family life. That's going to have an improvement on my finances. My health's going to actually improve, so I'm going to have more time to invest in it. So everything, again, is linked. And when you can break it down like that, within the conversation, they'll know what they want me to help them with. Yeah. So first, identifying all the areas of their life, and then we try to break it down. What have the biggest impact if you was to focus on that right now? And what would you need me to help you with? And I've obviously got the skill set from their health and fitness, and just using that as an example, if you're at 100% health, just to say, for example, how is that going to impact the rest of your life? It's like every area of your life, if you're fully healthy, you concentrate better, you're more productive, you've got more energy to give to people, you can deal with stresses a lot easier just by focusing on your health. So life coaching, although it's life, we can simplify it and just focus on one thing. That's our strategy for a period of time. And I don't think people realize how powerful having laser focus is on certain things, and how then it impacts everything else.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And yeah, a lot of clients that I've spoken to in the past, and I used to be one of these as well, you're always so focused on doing the doing. If you've got a busy business, you're working a busy job, you've got a busy household, health, usually in terms of health and fitness, always seems to fall by the wayside, doesn't it, with many people? Why is that? I'll go to the gym tomorrow comes, they don't do it. Why is that?
So I think what we label as health, before, let's say my health would have been go to the gym every day and spend 90 minutes in there. So that's all you know as health. As soon as I know business, I haven't got 90 minutes to spare anymore, so I can't do health. So again, what I try to get people to do is, what does health actually mean? Really, that could be just go for a walk 5 times a week. That's still going to be better than not doing anything at all. Let's now pay more attention to your food. Let's get better sleep. So at stages in our life, like the health or the labels that we give to it doesn't have to be the same. But what people tend to do is they just think that's what I used to do, but I haven't now got 90 minutes to do that, so I can't do it. And again, it's where you are in your life at the moment. If I can still get an element with health just ticked off, it's still going to make your whole life a lot easier. Whereas some people just leave it at the wayside. They get anxious, they get stressed, they can't concentrate, they can't have they don't secure that sales consultation, they don't close it. But if they were just a bit more calm, all of those things would have been a lot easier. So it's almost like a trade-off. Like if I lose that, it's still going to affect all the other things, even though all my time needs to be here. And again, it's only when people experience it for themselves and become consistent there, then they realize the importance of being aware of these things in their life.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is, isn't it? It's getting into a routine of practice, and practice day in, day out becomes habit. So kind of these strategies that you've learned, you've deployed into your life. Why did you become a life coach? What was it about the transition from being a personal trainer? You're obviously a business owner in London, running 2 huge studios. Why did you transition into life coaching?
Yeah, so I guess initially I always thought I was a coach. I didn't like to call myself a personal trainer because there was a lot of bad personal trainers within the industry, and I didn't like that attachment. So I'd call myself a coach. Then I used to tutor and mentor. So I thought I was coaching people all the time. I then had a breakdown and I got myself in quite a bad way, and then started going into mindfulness and meditation. But I then got pushed or directed to a coach. So I invested in a life coach myself, and like within a few sessions, my whole life completely changed. And whilst doing it, I knew that from what I thought I was doing, that would have really helped me excel in all those areas. But when I did my course as a life coach, I realized that I wasn't coaching people. People would come to me and I'm telling you what to do, and I'm telling you what's not working and what this and do that. But I wasn't doing what coaching is. And coaching, a good coach will never tell you what to do, ever. A good coach will make you come up with your own answers. And so my job now, you'll see, I don't really make much face expressions, but I'm just there listening. And I hold the space for people to allow them to be themselves. If you really think about even our closest people, a lot of things we don't tell them because we're worried that they might take it the wrong way or they're going to judge you. And especially within an organization, if I say something about that person who's really stressed me out, that might then get back and affect it. Whereas a life coach is kind of like this safe space that you go into and you can be confident enough to just say what you want. And you'll see after a while, I don't meet with any judgment. Then you can say more and you can start like getting these things out. And then the beauty of that is that people then start answering their own questions out loud. And it's funny, the question that I'm about to ask, they will ask it and then they will answer it for themselves. And there's the real power of listening as well. So I honestly think life coaching as a course, people should invest in for themselves anyway, regardless of the coaching aspect. Because I thought as a coach, and I realized I wasn't coaching at all, I come out a better person. And then from being a better person, it allowed me to be a great coach.
I think that's really true. And I think that it's imperative for people to get training in that, sector of their life, whether it is relationships or business. Those that are out there that are running their own business or have got high-powered jobs, it can be stressful. And like you said, if you've got so much on your plate, there's always going to be problems. The bigger your business grows, the bigger your role in an organization grows, the bigger the challenges and the problems that you have to solve. And those problems and challenges in life and in business are always going to be there, aren't they? So it's learning to understand how, I suppose, one reacts and what's right and what's wrong. And then, building these strategies in place so that you can maintain, I suppose, a calmer presence and deal with those situations a lot more effectively without that then having a knock-on effect in other areas of your life. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. And just to kind of make it relatable to people selling online as well, like we go on, and I was the same in fitness industry. I was a personal trainer, and all the courses I did was just fitness, just personal training. And then since I've come out of the industry, I'm like, if only I went on these other courses that have nothing really to do with it. You got to think, what you're selling and what you're learning, yes, you go on those courses, the better it, but who are you selling to? they've got all their own different lives, and within that, I now understand certain things that they're talking about. I engage in the conversation. I get their trust. And I really find the world we live in, we're so like one-dimensional in what we do and everything we do, and then our messaging and our sales pitches. It's like a robot. But then able to understand how other people function and what lights them up, what are their triggers, and what are the things that will like really get their going. You're going to get much better connections with people too. So I encourage people, even in life, be a student for life and just start learning about different things. Because I guarantee every single time, if you go with the intention, how is this going to help my business? Just have that as intention. You'll then pick up all the information that you're reading or you're listening to be able to apply it to what you're doing. And I think I encourage people to step outside the box a bit, because if you want to be unique, I believe that then comes down to connecting with people. And online, they're buying things off you. It just makes you stand out and also gives you some more things to offer.
Definitely. And like we said earlier on, you know, networking is so important, whether it's online, face-to-face now that we're able to obviously do in certain countries. It's so important. And just the opportunities that are there for us every single day, that, you know, if your mindset is so low, or, you know, you're just not seeing things clearly, the amount of opportunities that actually you can miss that are available to us. So you've worked with many clients, and we've had a chat about this, you know, all across the globe. With you obviously running your business online, that's accessible. People can book in with you. And I know that you've got a number of programs available as well for those that kind of want to do CPD themselves. But what are some of the most meaningful goals, let's say, that your coaching clients, your life coaching clients have achieved so far, would you say, through your teachings and through your support?
I work, and this is the beauty of my job as well, I work with people that have been told they're going to die. It's like cancers, terminal and stuff. So like literally life becomes so much more important, and the things that don't serve us just go out the window. And so in terms of like having meaning, I'm helping people completely change their life around, because at that point they realize what is important and what's not. But what that's allowed me to do is take this from these incredible people to then work with other people that are complaining about things that maybe don't need to waste as much energy complaining about that, and really focus on living a good life. So the mistakes that these people are now coming out and saying, I wish I did this and I just let go of that, I'm able to use that now. So I get people making like big life decisions, changing country, for example. People really stuck with what to do next, and what's my company going to say, what are my family going to say, like these difficult decisions. That's quite chaotic when you have all that on your plate, but deep down you know you want to make this change. So again, it's kind of clearing all the noise and allowing people to come up with their own decision themselves. Then I've got relationships that I work with, and I love it because people come in with all their own things and they're not doing this, and that's the problem. It's always someone else. Yeah. And then the coaching allows people then to look back in. And one of my key things, I get them to look through the eyes of the other person. What would they rank you as? And then let's make it even more meaning. They say, I'm a good dad and I'm this and that. Okay, let's ask your kid. What would your kid rank you as dad? 0 being the worst, 10 being the best. And then the truth comes out. You can't kind of get around it then. And when people get these insights, they then realize what they need to do to change. And again, it comes back to your past doesn't define you. There are certain things that we do and we know that we shouldn't do. We don't do it well enough, or we regret some of the things that we said, but that's gone. What can you learn from it at that point? So I've got a wide range of clients with different goals, but I would say it's that point in your life where you want to just excel, take it to the next level. You want to change. There's something inside you saying something's not right here. And some of my own experiences, get myself in a bit of trouble when I was younger, giving up alcohol. Teddy's laughing because she knows the naughty nose Harry.
You've completely changed. But you've just mentioned something there that I think is quite a really important, a key point, I suppose, to touch on, because I watched a video that you and one of your clients, I believe, James, did a while back, and it was on a Sunday morning, and I think it was just shy of an hour, and I watched the whole lot, and I was really interested in it, and it touched me because I was thinking the same thing. So you gave up alcohol for a number of reasons, I know you said within this video, but kind of what has that done, and why did you do that in summary? What has that done for you? Because I was thinking exactly the same thing, because it was having an effect when I let my hair down and have a few drinks, and the aftermath, the effect that it had on me and my performance in the business was just absolutely shocking. And actually, since that video, I haven't drunk alcohol. But give me your feedback on that. How does alcohol affect you, and why did you stop?
So, why did I stop? I got myself arrested in Spain. I was in a cell for 40 hours, and I don't remember how I got in there. I woke up in my swimming suit. So I remember just staring at the bars, and this little voice in my head goes, "What are you doing? You got no control of your life right now." And I come back, and my client was like, "You ever thought about not drinking?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm not going to drink anymore." And it has been, I would even say it's my spiritual awakening was the giving up alcohol, because what comes from that is, first of all, being out with your friends and being in public spaces, you feel ashamed to even admit that, "Oh, I'm not drinking." And so over that period where I'm trying to justify, "Oh, I got arrested, that's why I'm not drinking," to I don't drink. So it's almost like my power now. I'm so confident with this. Why not? That question doesn't even normally come to me anymore. Just because I say I don't drink, and why not? It doesn't serve me. I feel fantastic now. My life's completely changed. No one can even take that away from you. So I think what it allows you, first of all, take back your power. You're then more confident with your own choices, because you will get people that will challenge you all the time. "Oh, come on, have one. You're so boring." Well, don't trust people that don't drink. Like, you get all that. And I used to say that too. Like, even if you think about those sayings, they don't make any sense. "You're so boring." I'm like, "Okay, let me show you what I did last week. Is that boring?" And so I think, again, these are life lessons. People will come up with their own opinions and their own problems and all these things on top of you, and normally would give in. And alcohol is one of the easiest ones. We're like, "Oh, go on then." So, and then you feel terrible after. So making decisions, sticking to it, and then getting the rewards of, "I've got my whole weekend now, and I can enjoy." And I remembered every bit of the word that the artist said, when normally it would have been a complete blur. So I think that my health, though, Tady, like, I've always been a healthy person, but I was living two lives, personal training and then going out and getting smashed with my mates. Like, it didn't serve me at all. But my health, my clarity, my confidence, like, everything's completely changed, and I would bring it all the way back to that. So I think it does many things for you. And I don't think people experience giving up for so long. Like, when you do it over like a period of a year, first of all, that's a big tick, a big reward that you've been disciplined. Most people can't do that. Like, so you're already putting yourself in a category where, yeah, if I can do drinking, imagine what else I can do. And I always say that now. If someone says I can't do something, I'm like, "Oh, what? See what?" That's kind of my driver. But again, it stems from people saying you won't be able to do that. I think the other thing that it makes you do is change. Like, by not drinking, you can't go out on the same nights out as your friends. You're not going on the same holidays as your friend, because that's their world. So what it allows you to do is meet other people and be in other circles, and you realise some of the stories that people share from the difference giving up alcohol has made for them is being really powerful. And again, it gives you that confirmation you're doing the right thing. So I'm not saying this in a way to give up. I'm just saying, pay more attention to your health. Like, a lot of the time we drink without even thinking about it. We do it just for the sake of it. "Oh, I just have one." What does that do for you, really? So it's to almost like take the time out and just think about it. But from personal experience and a lot of other people I can share, and I'm guessing you can testify with me, it makes a huge difference in your life. And yeah, it's something that it's one of my biggest tips. Give that a go to start with, just for self-discipline alone, and the achievements and success that you get from that.
Absolutely, yeah, I couldn't agree more with you, especially when you have kids. You know, you can't go on a night out, and if you do, for some, you might need a babysitter the following day, and I think it's imperative when you are running your own business and you are the responsible one for bringing in that income. You know, people that don't serve you anymore, relationships that don't serve you, alcohol, it also has a massive effect. It's really important to kind of take hold of what you're doing and who you're spending your time with, and what you're doing with that time. I think it's really important, really key. And like you say, you know, doing more positive things with that time, exercising, you know, gaining life coach sessions, health related things, you know, scalability actions for your business, and spending more time with those that are really important in your life. So this session is, you know, about becoming your best self. And I suppose becoming your best self involves, you know, optimizing, like we've spoken about, different areas of your life to encourage growth, to limit distractions, and I suppose focus on and be laser focused on the goals that you want to achieve. And also it's about mindset, isn't it? So what would you say the tips, or your top tips and tactics for those listening, that they can adopt from right after this video into their life, that can help them turn up every day and be their best self?
Yeah, I love that. So being your best self, I think it's a question that you can ask yourself every moment throughout the day. What would my best self do right now? And just that alone, it makes you think, actually, let me snap out of it. Or I'm feeling crap today, but let me be my crap at my best self. I'm a sub on the football bench and I want to get on the pitch, but what would be the best sub? How would I show up my best self? You cheer the team, you do what the manager says. And I think it's a nice reminder like that. Being the best self, there's a few parts to it. So everything comes back to awareness first. So there's two parts to this. The first one, in our life, and this is a nice exercise to do, we play many roles. Every human has a multifaceted life. As an example, you'd be a mum, you'd be a daughter, you'd be a cousin, you'd be a friend, you'd be the boss, you'd be a colleague, you'd be a stranger. So we all play different roles in life. And if you think about it, every role, you need to play a different character slightly. Even if you're a mum to two kids, each kid you look after slightly different. So we play our roles differently. So I think the first one is just write down all the roles that you play, like literally all the roles in your life. And then one of the things you can do is just say, what one thing can I do on each one of these roles this week? And you'll realize how much, like me as a brother, what could I do this week? I'm going to call my sister. That's it. That if I didn't have that as my awareness, the whole weeks go on and I don't call her, and I'm a bad brother. So I think that's a nice one. And then, what would my best version of that role be at that time? So right, I've just come home from work. Now my role's being a parent. What do I need to do and show up as my best self? Right, I'm going to let go of the emails. I finished them off now, but now I'm going to be present with my kids. I'm going to spend some time with them. The phone doesn't come out for 2 hours. That would be my best self. So you're giving yourself these tasks to do. And then another thing to look at is just your life in general. Like, where are you at right now, your current reality? And I think sometimes, again, we've got so many things we're focusing on and so many things we're worried about. We're not even focusing where we are. So to look at life more holistically, and there's normally like eight to 10 things that like influence most people. So again, you can write them down: finances, family, friends, career, health, silence time, social life, getting into flow, like things that you love doing. And then with all those, rank yourself. Where are you on your current reality right now? 0 being the worst, 10 being the best. And each one of those, you'd be honest with yourself, it's quite insightful. But if you're a 6, what can I do to make that a 7? Cool. How would I need to show up as my best self to make that happen? And all of a sudden, it just gives you just a broader outlook. So you don't have to do everything 1,000% and just do a tiny bit. And just knowing that that tiny bit's still going to be more than what you've done for the last 5 months. So you're improving and going in the right direction.
Yeah, they're great tips. Something else I would add to that as well. I did a Tony Robbins event earlier this year online. And one of the key things that I took away from that was a priming exercise every morning, which I'm sure you've heard of. Just 15 minutes. And it's all about visualization. It's meditation, but it's about visualizing your goals, but also visualizing events that have happened in your life that you're grateful for. And I tell you what, it's so, for me, that really works. And I've done lots of different things in the past to try and combat my mindset, or falling into a negative mindset, or like you say, if you wake up in a bad mood, how do you get yourself out of it? And for me, that's worked really, really well. And I know I've shared that with quite a few people that I've worked with, and friends and family as well, that's worked with. But not everything kind of works for the same people, right? So how would you help someone find the right thing to do to kind of help them that works for them?
Yeah, so I guess when people say things don't work for me, or I don't do that, well, that's not really, that's still past. Like, okay, maybe it you, but we've got all these attachments. So there's a resistance there. The word meditation, I was one. Fuck that. I'm not doing that. I'm not. It's not the word, it's what it does for you. So I think for me, it's getting them to experience it first. If I can get you to a place of bliss in 4 minutes just by breathing, like straight away you can see in their head, like, well, that was actually really good. I feel much better now. And I think that's the key bit, is this stuff does work. It's backed up with like years and years of science too, but it's just also been indoctrinated with woo-woo and it's hippie and stuff. And again, if you go and look at the top performers, they all do it in one way or another. Some people, meditation could be going out on an endurance race and be on your bike, you get lost in your thoughts. But it's that getting into flow, doing things that you love for yourself. And that's like you said earlier, we forget about that when we've got all these other things going on. So my thing is, if you want your life to change and go better, there's so many resources showing you that many of these things work. All you need to do is find one that really works for you, but at least try it. Like, what's the worst? If you know that there's something out there that works, but you still refuse to try it, that's self-suffering. So my job is like, let's find something that works for you. And then once you do it again and again, you'll then start creating more time to do it, because you realize, wow, like, this is, I'm feeling much better. My performance is better. I'm feeling healthy. Like, again, it's a knock-on ripple effect.
Absolutely. And I think that's because we had a conversation prior to this where about, the top 1%, athletes, CEOs, top performing entrepreneurs, they all have a number of things in common, right? But in order for them to get where they are, they've got top coaches that make sure that they're, eating, the best nutritional kind of diet going. But from a kind of life coach perspective, they've got coaches. And why are they achieving their top? Because they are driven, they are goal orientated, they're focused, they visualize repeatedly themselves, holding that trophy, winning that gold medal, making their first million. And I think that's really important and key, because you've got athletes, CEOs, top performing entrepreneurs that are, let's say, in the top 1%. And what have they got in common? They've all got coaches. They've all got coaches there to ensure that they're on point, their goal setting, and they all go through specific strategies on a regular basis to ensure that they're visualizing their goals, they're seeing them, lift that trophy or win that gold medal or make that first £1 million. And I think that that's absolutely key, right? And anyone on this earth can go through and adopt those same strategies to become their best self and to achieve anything that they want to achieve. Would you agree?
Yeah, 1,000%. And you made that point then. Everyone in life that's successful as a coach, if you even look at football teams, golf, individual sports, they still have a coach to get them through. You have advisors, you have accountants, you have someone helping you to allow you to do sometimes the things that you don't enjoy doing, to get help from someone that can help you. So coaching can influence so much, but like you said, it works. Every single people will be doing some sort of that. So it 100% works. It's like, if it works for some people, it's an investment that you're putting in for your own business. And again, sometimes we want to rush things, and I haven't really got that much money, and if I do it now, then I'm not sure if it's going to work, or I didn't see the results. And it's like, just that clutter, that's quite quick and fast anyway. But I think if you've got the right person, and you realise that they're maybe their experience, or they're really allowing you to get out some really powerful insights, then you'll know that it'd be worth the investment. And I've been on the journey a few times where you stop because you think you've got all the answers, and then something else will happen in your life where you're like, I need that person. So if you don't have a coach, it's important to have someone that actually is there to listen to you, but challenge you too. Yeah. A lot of people won't like pull you up on certain things or make you look at life through a different perspective. And I think that's the beauty of having someone that really has any other ulterior motive apart from just to be there for you. And that's a key thing to look out for as well. Like, is it on their agenda, or are they actually there caring about you? And I guess the same when you invest in the marketing companies, PR companies, have they actually taken the time to understand you and your business, or they just associate you with any other online sale and, yeah, this is what we do, tick, 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 tick. And it's the same thing again through life. It's the people that you buy and invest into.
Yeah. And I know from speaking with you, you've said that many of the people that you've worked with have become, good friends of yours. And you've done some sessions on me, and I was hand up a bit skeptical, but it really did work. And it was a really powerful session that you did. So I really appreciate that, and implore anyone kind of listening to get in contact with Harry, because he is amazing at what he does. But in terms of kind of other clients that you've worked with, what would you say is the most inspirational story that you would confidentially, should I say, share with us, where you've helped someone within their journey?
Yeah, kind of ties in nicely to this story. So I met this guy at Fitness First when I first moved into London, and he was like my boss. And we stayed in contact. He moved off to Greece. I then set up my gyms, but we stayed in contact sporadically. He then started working with people that had cancer, and he started getting more and more clients, but he didn't understand about protecting your energy, and he was literally just giving everything. And when you're working with people with cancer, it's not just the individual, it's the families and everyone around too. But what that did for him was, when he went back to his family, he had nothing to give. And he said it almost ruined his relationship, his parenting. He wasn't like there for his kids. So he eventually reached out to me, and he said he was very skeptical, even life coach, and also seeing the old Harry that you know me as and he knows me as to where I'm now. He said his ego used to get in the way. So I started coaching him, and within like a few sessions, the impact it had in his life, he'd come to each session, just done this, my little boy, some of the things that comes out of his mouth, I never even let him finish the sentence. I always correct it for him. Now I'm giving it. And he then realizes that his parenting's good, but there was a knock-on effect. But the things that he was learning within the session, he was then taking this to his clients that were going through this ordeal. And quite quickly, I said, you'd be a great life coach. And he's like, nah, I can't do that. And literally during the COVID pandemic, he's got the only person the family providing, got a secure job, and he quit his job. He did the life coaching course, and now he's a fully qualified life coach too. And why I love that whole journey is that the roles that we used to play completely changed. That every role that he now plays, he's aware of. And if you met this guy talking about meditation or spirituality, it was like a West Ham geezer football fan. He now talks about that in his West Ham geezer football voice. he's taken that on board now, and I'm now working with him, and we're doing Lads Talk Health. And it is two coaches sharing stories and experiences of all these incredible people around the world, and giving people a voice. So yeah, for me, that's been a great story, because there's been like a whole backstory to our journey together, and also the transformation that he's had within it, and how happy he is now as well. Like he's just moved to Spain, he's left the UK, and yeah, he's thriving at the moment. So that's been a really good one. I've been blessed with some incredible clients, but it's not me. That's the beauty of what I do. I get that out of them just by asking them questions, and they turn into a different person. And like I mentioned that just then, the impact it has on their friends and their family and everyone within their circles. In the end, you're going to have a world of life coaches.
That's amazing, though. It's an amazing story that, you know, through, because I think COVID has impacted thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, and for him to take that risk, to give up his job, and to do something that he wanted to do, that he was passionate about, and also completely change his thought process on what he thought about life coaching before, and he's actually now one. And I think that's really powerful. And I think that, like you said, and like we've discussed throughout this session, that you can achieve anything you want to. Sometimes that you just need that helping hand to decide, you know, how to take that next step, and to assess the pros and cons, I think, and also to drown out the noise of negativity that might be there pulling you down. So in terms of what you offer, Harry, I know that there's one-to-one sessions available and programs available, and we'll obviously drop the link for everyone to be able to get in touch with you directly to book a call in. But what different options do you have available? Because we've talked about the different kinds of clients and the different strategies that you can help with, or different situations as well. What different programs do you offer at the moment?
Yeah, so we've got the one-on-one initially, which I encourage everyone just to book in for a consultation with any coach, but like get them to get yourself to experience what it actually can do for you. So the one-on-one coaching, like bi-weekly or once a month. There's a group coaching program that I run throughout the year, and I've also now turned that into like an online product, so you can do that one on your own as well. My unique gift is my Think Future, Feel Now healing experiences, which you've been put through as well. It's kind of like a condensed coaching session of 6 months, all within the space of 15 minutes, and people come out with their own answers to questions, decisions to be made. It's that space where you can literally just take a time out and relax. So again, that can be applied to everyone. And what I love about that is that people go into their own creative space, they feel what they want, and then they work with me in real life to go and make that happen. It's like they felt that whole experience, and then they've mapped out their journey. And then I do a number of talks and workshops as well. So I go into organizations, or I partner with different companies and talk about all this stuff that I love.
Awesome. I was just going to say, where you reminded me, when we did our session online, part of I won't bore everyone with what the session was about, but part of mine, if you remember, was about visualizing me getting a camper van, or buying a Sprinter van, if you remember, and converting it. And we, you know, that was part of the session, and there were a few other things in there as well. I've got a Sprinter van parked outside the front of the house right now, and we're just about to start converting it. So hey, that's kind of proof there that the visualization happens. And the issue with me was time and finance, and we managed to do it and make it happen. So we'll be sharing and documenting the process with censored speech, I'm sure, as I share the journey of converting a camper van. But that's just for you. I thought I'd feed that back. Awesome. Amazing. Harry, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been really great to touch base with you again, reconnect, and also learn and share your journey, and also share your guidance and thoughts on how to become your best self. And I'm sure that the tips and the strategies that we've discussed during this video will be welcomed with open arms for people to adopt. And obviously for our audience as well, thank you ever so much for listening in. Once again, I've been Tady Hampshire-Haig from the Online Seller Circle. If you have a business, a message, or a story to share and you'd like to be featured in one of our business broadcast episodes, reach out to me today using the contact information below. Be sure also to get in contact with Harry using the link below this video. He's an amazing coach and he's got a wealth of business experience to share with you all. Thanks ever so much, Harry.
Thank you for having me, Tate.
No worries. Thanks for watching and bye for now.